The daguerreotype and other early photographic processes were sensitive to ultraviolet and blue light, but anything red, orange, or green in the subject being photographed would appear in the final image in a dark shade. Thus, it was difficult to capture both the sky with its clouds and the landscape with its modulations in the same shoot. So to photograph the landscape with trees and greenery, a relatively long exposure time was needed, and the sky would be overexposed, so it appeared uniformly whitish in the photographic print. On the other hand, to take a picture of the clouds in the sky, the exposure time had to be very short, but no details of the landscape were then recorded by the photographic layer. To get around this difficulty, photographers like Gustave Le Gray in the 19th century took two photographs, one of the sky and one of the landscape. Then they combined the two negatives to form a positive image where the clouds and the landscape were well represented. Sometimes the same clouds image were used in different prints. This color blindness of light-sensitive materials was also an issue for portraits. Photographic treatises from the 1870s warned photographers to spray white powder on blonde hairs, or it will appear black in the final print. I recently experienced this to my cost, of course, not for my hair. During my last visit to New York in 2019, Geoffrey Berliner welcomed me at the amazing Penumbra Foundation, which promotes all photographic processes, nowadays called alternative processes. Geoffrey invited me to pose for a tintype, a photographic process popular in the second half of the 19th century. Things seemed to be going well. The image was timidly revealed, and I saw myself in a posture as flattering as that of Hemingway by Yusuf Kosh. But in fact, I was inheriting my portrait as Dorian Gray in Oscar Wilde's novella. My face appeared with dark spots on my temple and around my eyes, and the top of my head was studded with spots. The photograph has dramatically intensified the marks of time. Any freckles or reddish area was translated into a dark or even black zone. Of course, this lack of chromatic sensitivity in the portrait only affects my ego, but there might be more tangible impacts for cultural heritage, particularly in terms of documentation and conservation. You remember the tragic fire at Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris in April 2019. Fortunately, the 16 monumental copper statues, 11 feet high, that adorn the roof had been dismantled a few weeks before the fires and were miraculously saved. They were restored and are presented to the public at the Museum of French Monuments. When they were removed from the roof, as you saw on the pictures, they had a green patina. During the restoration, they were given a dark brown patina. So I asked the curators the decision to choose this patina had been arrived at. She showed me photographs of Marville taken in the 1860s where these statues appeared very dark. It was this dark shade that had guided them in choosing the patina. Obviously, the argument was fallacious because whether the statues were green, orange, red, brown, or black, they were necessarily rendered in the photographs of the time with the same dark tone. The issue can be more delicate if we rely on 19th century photographs to assess the condition of ancient paintings.